This kidnapping story is so unbelievable that it literally sounds like the plot of a movie. Around 2015, Aaron Quinn and Denise Huskins would randomly experience the most traumatizing moments of their lives. While the two were hanging out at Aaron's home in Vallejo, California, a strange intruder breaks into his house. But this was certainly no ordinary invasion. Previously to this incident, the insane criminal named Matthew Miller had been secretly surveilling the two using a drone and a camera for quite some time to disturbingly plan his crime. Using lasers and bright lights, Matthew, wearing a wetsuit for whatever reason, rushes into the home, disorienting the victims and eventually restraining the two using zip ties, headphones, and weird blacked out goggles. He then proceeds to drug them and then shortly after separates the two into different rooms, threatening them with a toy water gun. But things only get weirder from here. As the victims were terrified and confused, Matthew then installs a camera in Aaron's house and tells him if he leaves its point of view, Denise will get hurt. And moments after, Matthew Miller and Denise Huskins mysteriously vanish. It was only 2 days later that the kidnapped victim randomly appeared 400 miles away in Huntington Beach, California at her parents' home. Footage shows Denise calmly walking up to her parents' property before shortly after calling the police. During interrogation of both victims, police seem to be in complete disbelief of their horrifying situation. I mean, Denise was initially hesitant to give proper information about her story because she was so afraid that something might happen to her family. And Aaron was simultaneously having some relationship problems with his ex-girlfriend, which seemed to sway authorities into somehow believing this was an orchestrated event, with them even going as far as comparing this case to the famous movie Gone Girl. Yeah. After long hours of questioning and continuous harassment from Vallejo Police Department, authorities eventually get to, well, nowhere. They really did genuinely believe that the two were lying, even though both of their stories were spot on, and even a physical test showed Denise was sexually assaulted by her kidnapper. Eventually, Sergeant Misty Caruso stepped up to the plate and somehow cracked the case by connecting this crime to a previous kidnapping in Dublin, California. And soon enough, the investigation led to Matthew's home in South Lake Tahoe, where they find a toy gun, laser pointers, and duct-taped goggles just as the two described. Authorities also found Aaron's laptop and a strand of Denise's hair. The Harvard graduate and ex-Marine Matthew Miller was eventually sentenced to 40 years in prison for his crimes, serving justice to the very distressed innocent victims.